given the makeup of the federal courts right now, particularly the Supreme Court, there is a lot of fear within Congress and among DACA recipients and advocates that ultimately DACA could be undone by the courts, and we would be in a situation then where all of these folks could ultimately be subject to deportation.
So understanding the stakes, understanding how high they are, what can actually get across the finish line?
We have the ability, if Congress will act, to do something to offer relief for DACA recipients, to put them on a path to citizenship, to recognize that they are just as American as any of us who were born in the United States, that they have been great contributors to our country and to American society. So we can do that in the next few weeks that Congress is going to be in session. I'm hopeful that something will come of the discussions between Kyrsten Sinema and Thom Tillis of North Carolina. But really,
well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what Sinema and Tillis are working on, right? Because there's stuff in there for Dreamers. It's a pretty big number, I think you could argue. There's also a lot of stuff in there around border security. So if Republicans are as committed to border security as they purport to be, and they cannot get behind this, what does that then say to you?
Well, it means basically that they're not serious about border security or about fixing our broken immigration system. They just want to use the issue of immigration as their number one boogeyman around campaign time. And so that's the hurdle we have to get over, is whether Republicans are willing to work in earnest and vote in earnest to fix our broken immigration system, at least with respect to DACA recipients. And we're on a short timetable to do that. But we came close in 2013, 2014, when the Senate passed a comprehensive immigration reform bill, but John Boehner, who was Speaker at the time, refused to put it on the floor for a vote. And since then, there's been more money for border security and Border Patrol agents and drones and anti-tunnel technology, but there's never been any relief, permanent relief, for undocumented immigrants, including DACA recipients.
Well, and they're just not being real about what is happening at the border. Let's talk about Title 42, the Trump-era COVID policy, going to be lifted December 21st. NBC News is reporting the Biden administration wants more than $3 billion from Congress to prep for migrants who are going to be coming to the southern border after it's gone. Republicans may not be willing to approve the funding since they don't want the policy to end. A White House spokesperson said in a statement, quote, "If Republicans in Congress are serious about border security, they would ensure that the men and women of the Department of Homeland Security have the resources they need to secure our border and build a safe, orderly, and humane immigration system." I mean, it seems like that gets back sort of the fundamental point you made earlier.
Yeah, I mean, what you see there in those quotes is the Republican Party constantly talks to the American people about how there's chaos at the border, and that makes America more dangerous. Yet, when the president and the White House ask for the money necessary to do this in an orderly, efficient way and in a safe way, they balk. And so that's when I say that they instead want to use the issue of immigration and immigrants generally as their boogeyman to scare voters, and really, Alicia, really particularly to scare white Americans. They want to scare white Americans, and instead of solving healthcare issues and education and all these other issues, they want to create resentment and division and oftentimes hate, particularly among white Americans, towards these brown-skinned immigrants.